Start.
Hello everyone, my name is Amira Maria Derek. I am studying in Naval Civil School, Kochi. I am studying right now in class 12th of Humanities. So, as a person from Humanities, it gave me great joy to research about all these different questions that aspiring cadets from INA might have thought and decided and pondered over. As a person with prior naval background, it also gave me a lot more clarity on the questions that I have asked my own father. Now, there, if you look, that is also part of Navy. So this is where actually the naval cadets come in during their final years of INA as well. So when I looked through the questions, I saw multiple questions that I asked myself. For example, the fee structure of INA. The fee structure of INA is technically non-existent. They also receive a stipend. The Navy covers all of their tuition, their books, their uniforms, etc. etc. Which I find quite fascinating and quite nice as well. Did you know that women are eligible to enter into the INA ever since 1992 via SSC, and it has become broader with inclusions as well? And did you also know that foreign cadets are allowed to enter into the INA, which is quite fascinating, but mind you, only the friendly countries. There are multiple challenges which cadets also face during the SSB interview, few of them being tests on mental and physical, psychological resilience, leadership and teamwork, and physical and mental endurances, as well as consistency, which is various ways that a lot of cadets have failed to enter into the INA. Then there is, as we know, there are multiple ways to enter into the INA, but let's talk about the basic eligibility criteria which is needed, which is obviously 12th pass as well as JEE, a good score in JEE mains. Age being from 16 to 19 years, and marital status, obviously you need to be unmarried. Then the training processes of INA have been seen to be quite challenging, which has also resulted in quite a lot of dropouts. So, in the training processes of the INA, there is a 4-year BTech program in electronics and communication, mechanical engineering and naval architecture, and with rigorous physical training and naval orientation and professional studies. Then with NDA, then let's talk about NDA cadets as well, because that is also a point which comes a lot, which I saw come up a lot, which is that do NDA cadets who want to join the Navy also go to INA? The answer is yes, they do. So 3 years of NDA and then 1 year of INA to join the Navy. Now there is one great question which came up a lot when I researched about the latest questions that INA aspirants have asked. One of which is, what are the medical standards and why do candidates often fail them? So these medical standards often look as, basic medical standards, but actually it's quite rigorous as well. Like height is like 157 centimeters, and weight should be proportional to the height. Eyesight should be 6'6", and with glasses it should be 6'9". And I also searched for the common reasons which go for failure, which is like obesity, being underweight, vision issues, dental problems, undetected medical issues like related to the heart, for example, and joint problems which are shown after rigorous training. Then I also searched up what are the various subjects which are taught. In academics, there is BTech. In BTech, there is electronics, communications, engineering, mechanical engineering, or naval architecture. In naval subjects, there is navigation, communication, leadership, divisional duties, naval history, service etiquettes, and rules of the road. Then there is general training, which is physical training, which they do on daily basis, swimming, drill and survival skills, etc. etc. Now there are specializations which are offered in the INA, which is BTech specializations, postgraduate specializations, and operational areas. So these are the questions I found quite fascinating on my side, and how I found out about all this. In all honesty, I did use a bit of AI to find out the basic questions and what are the most questions which are asked about the INA. But the rest of the research I did on the questions validity and the answers I found from the official website of the INA, which is available on. I've learned a lot throughout this entire internship. It's given me a lot more clarity on how to approach people for my future, and it has given me a lot more confidence in my own public speaking skills. I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to try out this internship and understand how day-to-day works happen behind the screens. So thank you and have a great day ahead.